Hey guys, it's Blind Spiral here. Going to go over the restricted free agent process super briefly with all of you. Going to try to keep it quiet as I record this, trying to get it out to you, but the fiance is in the room. So if you can't hear me, you should be able to. But yeah. So briefly going over this restricted free agent process. So the long story short is your normal free agents, your franchise re-sign, and your other two free agents completely yours. You lock them up. Their price increases, but you know that you have them and they're on your team and nobody else can touch them or take them from you. The restricted free agent process is a bit different, okay? So the way it's going to work is each team will choose one, and then we're going to go in reverse standings order for when your team goes based off of this calendar. I can spend a lot of time working on it, as you can tell. But we're going to follow this order. So it's resetting week right now until May 7th. And then on Monday, the 8th, it's going to be the inaugurals are going to be doing their restricted free agent signing on the 8th and 9th. And the Pandas on the 10th, 11th, Raggy on 12, 13, Dogs 14, 15, Brownout 16, 17, etc., etc. This is based purely off of the schedule and or the standings, excuse me, not the schedule. If there's any questions as to why it's in that order, that's just how it is, right? So it's the opposite order of the draft. If everybody had kept their picks, okay. So on Monday the 8th, it's going to start for the inaugurals. Every single player that is a restricted free agent will be available to see as soon as all the teams have done their re-signings. I'll publish that information out there. This way you know who's around and who's coming up, so this way you can keep an eye out. So on the 8th, it'll start with the inaugurals, okay? Their player is going to get announced and saying, hey, we're starting the RFA process for this player. And then each team is going to submit a bid for how much they would want to pay that player to have them on their team. If it's $1, if it's $10, if it's $30, if they don't submit a bid, it's okay too. You don't have to sign for, you don't have to try to get a player if you don't want them. But you can submit as low as $1, okay? It's going to look something like this on my end, okay? So that's kind of what it looks like, right? So an example one, we're pretending this is mine. This is the implications bid, okay? So this is my turn, so I don't submit anything. I chose to put up Chosen Anderson as my restricted free agent. And each team here bid how much they would pay him to have him on their team, okay? Again, super metaphorical. You don't have to submit anybody if you don't want to, right? So a couple teams chose not to. In the scenario, I can't. So we look at this and we say, okay, the highest paying team is Rutro Raggy, okay? So Rutro Raggy, out of all the teams in the league, would be the one willing to pay him the most, okay? So that's part one. So that's day one of this calendar. So if this was my day on the 28th, all of this takes place on the 28th. All the teams submit their stuff on the 28th. Then what happens is on the 29th, the next day, day two of the restricted free agent process for my team, the information is given to me. I don't know how we're going to do it for me. I'll talk to Code about it. Maybe he'll be in charge of the form. But let's pretend it's you, okay? Let's pretend it's you here. This is your team. You're a restricted free agent. You chose Chosen Anderson. At the end of that day, I'm going to come to you and say, hey, a team offered him $33. You're not going to know what team it is. You don't find out if it's your division rival. You don't find out if it's the guy that you're competing against for the championship. You just know that a team has offered him $33. What is this song? You know that a team has offered him $33. It is then up to you to match that or not match it. If you match the dollars, 1 second. Hi. I'm recording a fantasy football video. I was trying to be quiet so you wouldn't wake up. Okay, good. I love you too. Cool, I don't have to be quiet anymore. I keep going. Okay, so getting back to business. So you're going to get presented, okay? So it's going to, I'm going to rewind all the way to the beginning. So it's going to come to you and you're going to be told, hey, a team is willing to pay $33. You can match it or choose not to match it, okay? If you match it, let's see if you choose not to match it. If you choose not to match it, that player will then sign with that team for $33. That is their year one cost. that team can sign them for 1 to 5 years, completely up to that team. Whatever they want to do, whether they want to sign them for 1 year or for 5 years, whatever it is, that team is locked into it. They cannot change their mind. They cannot say, actually, I don't want to do $33. I really only want to do 20. Too bad. He's $33. Period. End of sentence. There's no taking that back. A team can go ahead and cut the player if they want to immediately. Excuse me, and they'll be part of the veteran draft, and you might suffer a cap penalty for it. But you have to sign that player. You don't get to change your intentions, okay? If you decide to match and you say, yes, I think that player is worth $33, I want to keep them for $33, then I go back to that team that offered the $33. In this scenario, Raranki, right? So I would go back to that other team and said, hey, they're matching 33. What's your final offer? Okay. 33 might have been their final offer. They might say, 35. It's up to them. They could jump all the way up to 60. They could jump to 100. It's really, what is the maximum amount that you would pay this player to have them on your team? Just like before, you can't take that back. If a team says that they pay them $70, they can't change their mind if they win. That's it, $70. So let's pretend that we go up from 33 to, what's a good number for Robbie Anderson? Let's go 69, okay? So go from 33 to 69. Since he's your player, I'll come back to you and say, hey, the final offer is $69. Do you want him or do you want to let him go? If you want him, you sign him for $69 as his year one cost. It's up to you how long you want it to be for. If you let him go, he signed to the other team for $69. It's up to you how long he signed. It's up to them how long he signed for, okay? So you do have a lot of control in terms of getting the players you want and keeping them. But at the same time, there is the chance that some other team takes them. This is possibly great for a player that you bid too much on. So Brock Purdy is the first person that comes to mind, picked up at the end of the season for $250. You can't re-sign that. $250, it would go up to $350 as his first, if quick math serves me right, to his first year's cost. Can't do that. This could possibly reset his cost all the way down to something else, right? You think of the Josh Allen contract that I'm dealing with. It's $515 in year 5. I can't re-sign that, but I could restricted free agent it, and it would bring the cost down lower. The scary thing is it could also bring the cost up higher. If you've got a player who you like and you're like, oh, he's $30, that's a little more expensive than I wanted to pay, so I'm going to use a restricted free agent. If another team offers 50, you're like, oh shit, well, I could have re-signed him for, and it would have gone up to 38, 36, but instead it's now 50, and you've really got to figure out what you want to do. So be very cautious with this, because if you're in a cap situation or if you're not willing to pay a player a bunch of money, might not be the best option. Could be for your really highly paid guys. Could be for guys you're not attached to, depending on the price point. It could be a possible reset of the price point. And there's going to be contracts, and this is going to be used more later on, I think, but there's going to be contracts like those big ticket contracts, the year 4 contract on someone that it makes sense to try to restricted free agent to lower the cost. But again, you run the risk of losing players if you do this. So be very careful. If you guys have any questions about this, let me know. But again, starting from the very beginning, this is your day. Whatever it is on here, these are your 2 days. Your free agents will be announced to everybody before this. So everybody will know the inaugural RFA is this, the Pandas is this, Fraggies is this. It's all announced beforehand. Then when it's your day, I will send a form in the Discord or the Sleeper, probably both, that'll say, hey, up for bidding is Robbie Anderson. Every team submits how much they would pay for him. The highest bidder, you have to choose to match or let them go. If you match, they get one final offer to say they'll pay however much it is, and you have to choose to match or let them go. Okay? That's a very condensed version of it. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to me. Otherwise, happy signing period. 3 of us are done. 9 more to go. Looking forward to getting this done and really getting back into fantasy football swing for our league. And then the draft will begin on June 1st. Really looking forward to that as well. Hey, you guys have a great night.